Hey there everyone on YouTube. This is Doctor Who episode 9. So let's get started. So this episode was done in this sort of found footage kind of style. And it's set in, I believe, I want to say the 32nd century. And it's basically this group of people head onto this head onto this ship, which basically houses this sleeping Orpheus type thing. And this Orpheus has basically created these creatures called the Sandmen. And the whole idea of this entire episode is the concept of sleep. Orpheus. Sorry, I mean Morpheus. I don't know why I said Orpheus. That's possibly something completely different. Yes, so this Morpheus concept is really intriguing. And yeah, basically this whole episode is shot like found footage kind of movie. And I found that really, really interesting for a couple of different reasons. And the first has to be this idea of sleep and the idea of the Sandman. Basically there is this legend that a sand type creature called like the Sandman or something basically comes at night and plants thoughts into your brain that basically is the concept of dreams. And I think given the importance of sleep in our culture and how important it is within our society is really, really important. Because I think most people in the modern world actually don't get enough sleep. And they don't realise how valuable sleep is. Because as a carer, I know that sleeping is actually such a valuable part. Because if you overtire your brain, you overtire the body functions. And I found that whole entire concept really, really interesting. And obviously it's done in a very Doctor Who kind of style. The Sandmen I found were quite sinister, because it's preying on that whole concept of sleep. And it was just really, really interesting. And I think with this found footage-esque idea, it really, really worked well for the episodes. And I think it's also interesting that the Doctor kind of fails at the end of this episode to save the day. And I found that very, very interesting. And again, it's this, and also it's the whole idea of Clara's death looming over this entire series, which was interesting. However, despite that, not enough is done with the ideas of sleep. And I think this episode came off as a bit dull. And not very interesting to what was going on. And not very interesting to what was going on in the entire plot of the episode. And what I mean is, there were such rich ideas here, but that just weren't played well enough, in my opinion. the guy called Gagan Rassmussen just wasn't a very interesting villain. And I do think this episode feels very, very detached from the rest of the season. Or the series, sorry. And yeah, don't get me wrong, the ideas that this episode is trying to tell are really, really interesting. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of the elements didn't quite click. Anyway, I'm Rob Black's One here, and stay tuned for my Doctor Who series finale reviews.